Hi everybody, welcome back. On Monday, we started talking about insects. We talked about why insects were important. We talked about what makes an insect an insect. We talked about how spiders are not an insect because they have too many legs for us. We said that an insect has to have 6 legs and 3 body parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. And sometimes they have wings. We talked about why they were important. We said bees were important because they helped us to pollinate and grow more plants. And we talked about how all insects are important because a lot of them are food for other animals, and that's important for the food chain. So you guys did a great job with that. I loved your work. I loved your labeling. It was awesome. You guys really did a great job. I loved your sorts. It was beautiful. So this week we're going to talk about the life cycle of an insect. I know we've talked about life cycles of trees. We've talked about life cycles of plants and seeds. Well, bugs have life cycles too. Insects do too, right, friends? They grow and they come from somewhere. So we're going to talk about that today. And I figured since we did the body parts of an ant, we're going to kind of stick with ants for that. So let's get this down and we will pull this one up. And I'm hoping that that works because it's green. That might be an issue. Life cycle of an ant. So here we have the life cycle of an ant. They start as an egg. That's where I know a life cycle continues through, but you begin with the egg. And the egg grows into a small little larva that almost looks like an icky little worm. And then it grows into a pupa where it starts to form into more of that insect or bug. And then it grows into a full adult insect. And that insect lays more eggs. That turns into the larva, goes into the pupa, back to the adult, back to the egg. And just like our plant life cycles, it just keeps going and going and going. All right, so I don't have a book about just ants, but I do have this cute little fun story that I'd like to read to you here. And it tells us a little bit about ants in kind of a silly way. What crawled into Grant's shirt and pants? Ants. So here he is, he's sitting on a log and he's screaming something bad happened, and you can see all these little ants and they're at a picnic. Ants seem to show up a lot when you have food around. So that's why they say ants come to the picnic. So here's a picture, which is a deeper illustration than my ant. And it shows some more body parts, but here's his abdomen, his thorax, and his head. And this is a black carpenter ant because there's all different kinds of ants. Just like there's all different kinds of dogs, there's all different kinds of ants. So Grant foolishly sat on a rotten log at a picnic. It was full of black carpenter ants. Unlike termites, ants do not eat wood, but only chew tunnels and galleries so that they can live in the decaying wood. Ants live in large groups called colonies and have lots of jobs. The queen lays eggs, and the workers make tunnels, gather food, and care for the nest. Some colonies have soldiers who defend the colony, just like an army, guys. Isn't that cool? Most ants eat other insects. Ants found in the kitchen are either sweet-eating, sugar, grease-eating, bacon variety. So the ones who eat that kind of stuff, that's why they go for the sweets and things at a picnic, I guess. Ants are black, brown, reddish, brown, yellow in color. They live in deserts, woods, trees, and sand. They live under stones and at high elevations in open fields, in houses and gardens, in the grass, and in clay. Ants are everywhere, guys. The black carpenter ant is found along the East Coast and in the central United States. And in general, ants are found all over the United States. So ants are all over the place, boys and girls, and they're everywhere. And they're an insect, but they are helpful to us. They make all these colonies and they live in large groups, and it's really interesting. They have a queen ant, and then they defend the other ant. They have worker ants, and they're very, very strong, boys and girls. Ants can carry other ants on their back. It's pretty crazy, the stuff that they can do. So that's just my little tidbit about ants. But they do go through the life cycle. And they start as an egg, they move into a larva, into a pupa, to an adult who lays more eggs. So today for your assignment, boys and girls, I want you guys you're going to complete your own life cycle. You can print up the one I sent, or if you don't have a printer, you can just draw your own like I did, and I would love to see them. I would also like for you to write me a sentence today. I'd like you to write me a strong sentence, just one strong sentence, nonfiction style, about something. It could be something we've learned about insects, or it could be something about the life cycle of an ant, or maybe just like a little fun thing about our ant that we just read about. So it can be any of those things. And guys, get outside. Get outside and look for those insects. Let me know if you see any in the yard. Obviously, not without an adult, but make sure that you're checking those things. There's insects everywhere. We don't need our books and videos to learn about them. We can see our own right in our backyards. So check that stuff out and let me know. All right, boys and girls? And then we'll meet up again next week and talk about more insects and read some really fun books. Next week, we're going to talk about butterflies. I'm excited. All right, bye, friends.